Hey, welcome back, mighty mamas, mighty dads, mighty people. Today's video is as promised. I am going to be sharing with you my natural remedies for anxiety that also help with panic attack relief. Now, I want to be clear, I am not a licensed physician. I am not here to diagnose, treat, or cure your anxiety and depression or any other mental illness. I highly encourage you to seek that professional medical help, especially if you feel like your anxiety and depression is taking over your life and causing you inability to function daily. Definitely seek that professional medical help. Now, for me personally, I have gone down that road. It all started about 13 years ago after I had my first child and my first run in with postpartum depression and my first panic attack. I literally thought I was going to die. So I, of course, went and seen a doctor, and my doctor at that time diagnosed me with generalized anxiety disorder with panic attacks. He then started to treat me with prescription medications, and for about 2 years, I tried a multitude of prescription medications for my anxiety and depression. And unfortunately, none of them worked for me. They actually increased my symptoms of anxiety and caused me to go into depressions. So, after trial and error, both my doctor and I decided that prescription medication just was not right for me. He did offer me some homeopathic resources for anxiety and depression, but if I'm being honest, I had to do the work and the research mostly myself. So, after a couple years of extensive reading, Googling, and research on homeopathic treatment for anxiety and depression, I started to find what worked for me, and I am going to share those things with you guys today. So, if you are one who is unable to take prescription medication for some reason or another, or maybe they just don't work for you, but you also suffer from anxiety and depression too, then this video is definitely for you. Get ready, grab your notebook and your pen because you're going to want to take some notes right now. Okay, so first and foremost, my natural remedy for anxiety is God. Definitely grow in your closeness with God, build that bond with God. Whenever I'm feeling anxious or worried or scared, I immediately fall into prayer and I ask Him to take away my anxieties, my fears, my worries, my concerns. And honestly, like there is a comfort that comes over me. He does heal in those moments. If you ask Him, if you trust in Him and you ask Him and you believe, you will feel that relief. You will feel the comfort and the healing from God. Now, I'm not here to push religion, belief, or faith on anyone. I'm simply sharing with you what truly works when it comes to my anxiety management. And it took me a while to figure this out, but I know now that God is good and God is real, and I am a true believer now, and I go to God. He's my number one treatment for everything in my life, and it really has been life-changing since that day I gave up the control and the burden and worry that I've always been carrying all of my life. I gave it up to God and I let it go, and I asked Him to take that burden off of me, and I trusted in Him to know that He is there with me. He walks beside me in the good times and the bad times. I'm never alone, and that just truly brings me comfort in those moments when I'm anxious or overwhelmed or stressed, and God is my go-to. So I make a point to be intentional every day and make that devotional and that prayer time in the morning with my coffee. I try to do a little at night as well. And if I'm able to like do it throughout the day, I will definitely pick up one of my devotional books. I have plenty of devotional books that I use. I have a mom devotional book. I have one that is strictly with God. I also do read the Bible. I listen to certain podcasts. I watch certain videos on YouTube from my church. There's all different ways that I include God in my life, but definitely my go-to when it comes to feeling fearful and anxious. And if you guys haven't found God yet, trust in God. He wants to be there for you. Ask Him to take your worries and concerns away, because this world is far too heavy of a burden and a load for us to carry on our tiny shoulders. And we are definitely not the ones in control. God is in full control. And once you realize that, that weight is going to be lifted off of you, and you're just gonna feel the anxiety levels drop. So God is my number one when it comes to natural remedies for anxiety. Okay, so my number two natural remedy for anxiety is quitting the news. Do your mind, your body, and your soul a favor and quit the news. Stop watching the news. Stop the negative programming from coming through your brain. It's a scientific fact. Our brain receives information and it sends signals to our body to feel a certain way. So if you are feeding your brain negative, toxic information, you're only going to feel negative emotions, negative feelings that are going to be toxic for you. So listening to the news is definitely going to increase your anxiety, because I can honestly say there is seldom a good, happy story on the news. For the most part, you're hearing about the hate, the crimes, the all the problems of the world, the tragedies, and that will definitely increase your anxiety. So just stop it, quit the negative programming, don't allow it into your brain any longer. You have a choice to allow that in or not. So quitting the news has been life changing for me. Just stop the news. Trust me, it's just the worst information you could put into your brain. There is good in the world, and unfortunately, they don't really ever show that, but there is good, and life is good, and we can live happy and peaceful if you don't allow the negative programming into your brain. So, if you want to reduce your anxiety naturally, definitely quit the news. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the supplements that I take daily for anxiety management. But before I get into all those, I do want to talk about stress, the body's response to stress, and how it can lead to anxiety. Now, my main triggers for anxiety are stress, overwhelm, and just feeling run down and not getting adequate amounts of sleep or food. And being a mom, let me tell you, I'm at high risk of that all the time. And I have fallen into those bad habits and I've caused myself to be highly stressed. But now I feel like the biggest defender for motherhood is making sure that you take care of your health and keep your stress levels in check. And in the end result, it keeps your anxiety in check. So, believe it or not, not all anxiety is bad. We actually need anxiety to survive. That is human nature. And so, anxiety can be thought of as like a natural built in alarm system in our body. So, when we are faced with like difficulty, like danger, or some sort of challenging event, that alarm system will trigger different hormones in our body, specifically adrenaline, to rush through and cause all these physiological changes, including like rapid heart rate and a rush of oxygen to the brain, and lots of blood flowing and pumping through your heart to give you that boost of energy that you need to take on that difficult task or event, or to fight off that danger. Or for example, you may be faced with a sport competition, or you have a speech presentation at school. So all those things require your natural anxiety, and anxiety is good. But when you have excessive amounts of anxiety, like most of us here do, because of maybe past traumas, high stress life that you're not treating and taking care of, whatever your trigger may be, when you're having that excessive anxiety, then you're going to have an overload of all those hormones in your body, and it's going to cause all these different physical symptoms, and it's just going to cause your whole body to go haywire and just be out of balance in good health. So it's really as simple as keeping your stress levels under check. That is, I want to say, the main key to keeping your anxiety balanced and low, and only there when you need it. So keeping away that unhealthy, unwanted stress is going to keep away that unhealthy, unwanted anxiety. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of like how it correlates to stress. I mean, it kind of sounds simple and common sense, but some people may not think of that. So if there's ways in your life that you can implement something to lower your stress level, you're going to be less stressed, and overall you're going to have less anxiety. So that's really like how I do it. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I've learned now that to put yourself first and take care of yourself and treat yourself with all the things you need to keep your stress levels low, in the end, that is how you're going to keep your anxiety in check. So right now, I'm going to share with you all the supplements that I use on the daily for my anxiety management. I use a prenatal vitamin right now, but I highly recommend a multivitamin. I'm only using the prenatal because I'm still nursing my toddler, which don't even come at me because believe me, we are trying to wean. He doesn't want to. This mama is done. Send me prayers, please. So I've taken the prenatal vitamin as long as I'm still nursing. And, we all are vitamin deficient. Like nowadays, pretty much everyone is vitamin deficient. So it's just a requirement of life to take a multivitamin. So definitely do yourself a favor. It's going to overall help you balance your body out, balance all the nutrients in your brain and what you're lacking, and help you feel better in general. All these things are ways to help prevent stress on my body and to help keep my body healthy in order to prevent anxiety and keep your anxiety levels low. So vitamins are, I would say, a necessity of life. So yeah, look into, different vitamins for yourself. But I do want to say that I take the Andrew Lessman brand. I'm not sponsored. I just love his vitamins. They come in an easy to swallow capsule form, and I have problems swallowing pills because, again, anxiety, like I have this fear of choking. So I really struggle with that, but with his, it is so much easier and I am able to get them down. And then the purity is there, the, quality is there, they're clean, they're free of all that extra additives and preservatives and all that gunky stuff that is in a lot of the vitamins, like over the counter on the shelves at our pharmacies and stores, unfortunately. But yeah, look it up for yourself, Andrew Lessman vitamins. So yeah, that's why I just love his vitamins. And I'm actually going to be linking everything in the description below, everything I talk about, all the supplements I list here, everything I mention in this video. If I take it, I will have it listed down in the description, and I will make sure it's the same brand that I use as well. Another important supplement that I take is a vitamin B12. It is a sublingual drop. So it's basically a liquid form, and you put the drops underneath your tongue. They are faster acting. It helps to repair and prevent any damage to your nervous system. People like us who have anxiety, we are really frying out our nervous system when we're, constantly feeling anxious, especially if you suffer from panic attacks. That really puts your body in havoc and really does a number on your nervous system. So I highly encourage you to get some vitamin B12 and help to repair your nervous system because it goes through a lot of damage when, we fry our circuits out through anxiety and panic attacks. So that is definitely a must for me. Okay, so another important supplement that I take is fish oil. It actually contains 2 of the omega-3s that we need, the fatty acids that are, very important for brain function and brain health. But there are actual studies that have been shown where fish oil reduces symptoms of depression for those who have depression and have taken fish oil. I know there's like a specific dose for that. I just take one. It reduces symptoms of depression. There's been studies that show that. And, it's also good for the heart. Like anything that I'm talking about here, just be careful. Make sure you read up on it. Make sure you talk with your doctor if you're on any medications. Never mix medications, even with supplements. Even if they're natural supplements, it could have an effect with the medication you're taking or interact with it. So always just be sure to check with a pharmacist or your doctor about anything you want to try from my natural remedy list, and go from there just to be safe. Iron. I do take an iron pill every day. Iron pill is good for preventing like fatigue and just feeling run down. And like I said, if I start to feel that way, then I start feeling off, then my mind goes crazy. I start thinking that I'm sick and I'm dying and my anxiety goes haywire. So I just need to keep myself healthy. I will tell you, I am the worst patient. And I think I mentioned here already, I went to nursing school. I actually worked as a CNA over at University of Chicago Hospitals. I took care of cancer patients on the bone marrow stem cell transplant unit. I've worked in a lot of different areas of the hospital as a CNA as well. And let me tell you, I'm the worst patient. I can deal with anything as the worker, but when it comes to being the patient, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to be a patient. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want nobody poking at me. So I try my hardest to prevent that. And overall, it keeps me happy and less stressed and less anxiety. So yeah, iron pills definitely work good for females who lose blood every month. So another supplement is magnesium. It's super important like for just overall health, but it has been proven in case studies that it actually reversed major depression symptoms in people who suffer from depression, and it is a mood stabilizer. Once I read that, I was like, okay, I need to get me some magnesium. So magnesium helps so much with anxiety and depression. You can get like magnesium in any type of vitamin form and, you know, pill form, but I choose to take it in a powder drink form, and it is actually by the brand Natural Vitality, and it is called a calm drink. And this is something that I found years ago when I was having major anxiety throughout the day. It's safe. It just has magnesium in it. You just want to make sure to read the instructions, start with the smallest dose, because it can actually make you go to the bathroom if you have too much of it. I haven't had that problem. I just take the smallest dose and, you know, mix it in with water, and I just do a shot of it, and it really helps calm me down. So magnesium is super important. I definitely recommend this calm drink, and it also works like it's fast acting if you're having anxiety or starting to have an anxiety attack. Definitely go get you some. So another form of supplements that I take for natural anxiety relief is tea. I love my teas, and the brand that I use is Traditional Medicinal. The taste is stronger, and I just feel like it's more potent. My go-to for when I am really anxious is the lemon balm tea. It totally relaxes me. It will just stop an anxiety attack from happening. So I highly recommend it. It's all natural, but I will warn you, it does have a drowsy effect. I only take that at night in like a very relaxed state, and makes you drowsy enough where you just feel calm and relaxed. So I wouldn't recommend it in the morning or before going to work or while you're at work, or if you have to operate machinery or drive. Like, it's just something I wouldn't do, because I think then it could cause anxiety, because then you'd be worried like something bad will happen. So you definitely don't want to turn it into a bad thing. It's definitely for at home and for relaxation. So lemon balm tea, wonderful, love it. Another tea that I love like throughout the day if I just want to unwind and relax is lavender chamomile. So that is a blend. It's a lavender chamomile blend by the Traditional Medicinals. It just helps relax you. And what's great about these teas is like it will tell you how many you could have per day. And a lot of them you could have like up to 3 cups a day. I don't typically take that much. It's kind of just like a go-to. If I'm having high anxiety, I'll go grab that lemon balm tea and make a cup and relax. Or like if it's throughout the day when I'm home with the kids, I'll do the lavender with the chamomile. Another good one for stress support is called Warming Vanilla. I love it. It tastes so good, and that is supposed to help for stress support. It's a botanical blend. They really are effective in helping you to get that anxiety relief, or if you're feeling like you're in a state of panic, it definitely helps with that, you know, preventing that panic attack. So those are my go-to teas. So another herbal supplement is adaptogens. Yes, these are specific with helping to boost those like serotonin levels in your brain. It really has a lot to do with the brain chemistry, and also protecting your nervous system from damage that occurs over time from stress and anxiety. So definitely look into those yourself. I'm still doing my research, and I'm just trying to find like what maybe would be the best brand out of those to try and take. I'm still not there yet, but if you know you want to look into it yourself, I think those are good supplements that can help anyone with anxiety as well. Okay, so I'm going to talk about different types of meditation that I do that help with anxiety relief and help to prevent panic attacks. These are also things that I do when I feel a panic attack coming on, so keep that in mind. Okay, so number one, starting with EFT, it is emotional freedom technique. It is a tapping technique that uses tapping on acupuncture points. And I will put right here for you guys all the different acupuncture points for the tapping. I'm also going to include in the description below a channel that I follow that provides tons of videos on tapping and all different forms of uses for tapping, specifically stress, anxiety. I'm going to link those videos below. I'm also going to link the ones that are for beginners, like that will teach you how to tap and what the acupuncture points are. But again, if you want to do a screenshot right here of this image, these are the acupuncture points that will be pointed out in one of the videos below. So tapping is just a way to help distract the brain from the anxiety feeling that it's having, and it also does wonders for panic attacks. So like if I feel a panic attack coming on, or if I'm in the, if one is already happening, I will instantly go to tapping. Now I prefer tapping here. I also like to tap here on my chest. And then I also like to tap here on the side. So it really depends. Again, you have to find out what your tapping points are, but that helps me. And then a combination of tapping with counting backwards from 100 is my go-to when I'm having a panic attack or I feel a panic attack coming on. So okay, let's just say that, like I said, a panic attack is coming on, or one already started, the floor is about to fall out from under you, you're in that panic. Start with the breathing. You have to get your breathing under control, because that's the first thing that panic does, is it makes us, have that shortness of breath, because we're breathing so fast. We're taking in too much carbon dioxide. We're not at releasing it enough. So it's just those short breaths that are causing us to feel like we're suffocating. We're really not. So you have full control in those situations. Just remember that instantly. The first thing you want to do when that happens is you want to do a breathing technique. So this again is another form of meditation that I do on the daily, as well as the tapping. So the way I do it is you just want to first start by taking a deep breath in your nose and counting to 4 in your head. And then so once you go in with 4, then you're going to hold it for 5 and 6, and then you're going to exhale from the count of 7, 8, 9, 10. So you want to repeat that 10 times. So you can do the count like I do. You could do whatever you're comfortable with. Sometimes what works for me is not going to work for you. And that goes for all of these natural remedies that I'm sharing with you today. They may work for you. They may not work for you. I'm assuming they will, because I'm living proof that they do work. And I just don't see how they wouldn't work for somebody else with anxiety. But again, you just never know. Everybody's different. But yeah, so doing that deep breathing technique is going to stop that state of panic in your brain and, tell your body to start slowing down, tell your heart rate to start slowing down, and it's just going to help balance everything out together. Now, I guarantee you by the time you get to like the 5th slow breath, you're probably going to start feeling better. But don't stop. Go all the way through to 10 repetitions of the deep breathing, and then you'll be good to go. So that is my go-to if, like I said, I feel a panic attack coming on, or I'm in the state of having one. I try to slow my breathing. That's number one. And then I will do the EFT, the tapping. Again, I'm leaving the resources for you guys down below. You can watch those videos. YouTube has like an array of helpful resources for anxiety relief and panic attack relief. So definitely search the YouTube, go through all that and see what you can find. There's something there for everybody, trust me. But yeah, so the deep breathing, the tapping, and then counting backwards. And yeah, I like to count backward from 100 without tapping or anything else. So say you're starting to feel like you're getting high anxiety, just start counting backwards from 100, 99, 98. Because what it's doing again is it's distracting your brain from the anxious feelings and thoughts. And it's, grounding you. It's bringing you back down to earth, and you're counting, and it's just helping to regulate that initial anxiety response that's happening in your body. You know, it's telling it it's okay, it's safe. It doesn't have to go into that fight or flight mode. Another one is grounding. I love grounding. It's also called earthing, and it's a therapeutic technique that is used to balance the electrical forces from the ground with your body. So it's kind of deep. It's a little hippie-ish, but I'm telling you, bottom line is this. When you're feeling anxious, go outside in your bare feet and stand on your grass. You know, try to do earth ground, like soil, even if it's dirt. I would try to avoid concrete if you could. Like, so something soft, soil, grassy, earthy, dirt, something like that. Just stand on your bare feet and close your eyes and just listen to like the nature around you. So, you know, becoming one with nature in that moment and allowing like all the different energies from your body to kind of get sucked down and pulled down into the ground to help balance you. You know, we do have electrical impulses that work throughout our body, and I guess by meeting up with the earth and grounding yourself, it kind of balances that out so that you're not all haywired out and anxious. So it does help. Like, even in the wintertime, like where I live, we get snow and we get cold. But if I'm ever on the verge of a panic attack, I will take myself outside in bare feet. I will stand in the cold snow. And it actually works the best because it sends like a shock signal to my brain. And I don't really think about the panic in the moment. Like, it totally just shifts your mindset. Feeling at one with nature and distracting your mind and shifting your mindset to something more calming and relaxing. And then again, like listening to what's around you. So like you're going to hear the birds chirping, or you know, you're going to hear the wind blowing through the leaves or something like that. So that is always helpful. So grounding is a great technique and a great form of my meditation that I use. Another form of therapy that I use when it comes to meditating, I like to diffuse my essential oils. I like to put it on my wrist. So I'll just do like a dab here and a dab here. I'll rub my wrist together, and then I'll rub it behind my neck, and then like over my chest, like through my skin, and then kind of rub it into my hands, and then I'll just huff it like 3 times. And just by inhaling essential oils, like certain ones that work for you, you can totally shift your anxious feelings and your mindset. So it really does help. Now, my go-to essential oil is frankincense. I love frankincense. I do use the Young Living brand. That's because I just trust in their quality and purity, and it works for me. It's like if I try something once and it works, I'm not going to change it. It's like, why fix it if it ain't broken, you know? I'm sure there's other brands out there that work just as good, but like, I just don't want to have to go through the trial and error. So if I find what works for me, I stick with it, like I said. So yeah, sacred frankincense. I love that. It's just more subtle than the actual frankincense, but it is more costly, but it's worth it. Anything that helps you with anxiety or saves you from panic attack is worth it. It's priceless. So yeah, frankincense is my go-to. I also use lavender. My main essential oil is the sacred frankincense. That helps with my anxiety attacks and panic attacks. Lavender, if I'm taking like a bath, which is another form of therapy that I use for natural anxiety relief, which I'll talk about in a minute. But like, I will use my essential oils in my baths. I will diffuse them in my diffuser like throughout the day to smell them. I do love to use lemon. It gives me energy. It really just like is a mood lifter. I think lemon just makes everything feel and smell happier. I love lemon, and if it makes you happy, use it. That works, right? It keeps the anxiety away if you're happy. Well, you have to do your own education on essential oils because they can be toxic to babies, small children, pets. Also, they can cause rashes, they can burn your skin. So you have to know like if it needs a carrier oil, which would be like another neutral oil like coconut oil or something that you have to mix the essential oil with to blend it before you apply it to your skin. I know with my sacred frankincense, I could just put it directly to the skin and it doesn't bother me. But again, everybody's different. So make sure you do your own research and education on all these things that I'm talking about, just so you can use everything, in a safe manner. So, grounding, essential oils. Oh, another form of meditation is journaling. You guys, I cannot tell you like how life-saving journaling has been for me. I talked about this over on my Instagram. Quickly, I'm just going to go over. I have been going through a self-healing journey, and journaling is like my go-to for self-healing. I'm allowing myself now to like process a lot of old feelings from past trauma. And the way I do that is by writing everything down. When they come over me, I just journal them and I'll just write. And then the best part is, and it's usually like negative feelings or negative emotions or, things that made me feel bad about something. So the best part about it is you get to rip it up at the end and throw it away. And in some cases, I have burnt it into a fire. We've had a bonfire in the yard. I love writing, and then I just watch the paper burning and just burn those old bad emotions and negative feelings away for good and say goodbye to them for good. So yeah, there's just something about writing your feelings and emotions on paper and then throwing them away. And it's just symbolic to telling yourself, like, okay, that's in the past. I'm going to move forward from here. And it's just so self-healing, and it really does reduce anxiety overall. So journaling is so great for anxiety relief, and I highly recommend that you do it. I know all of us have a story. All of us have some sort of trauma that we can journal about, and that's a great way to get it out and to actually work through those feelings and process those feelings. But okay, so I did the EFT tapping, we did the deep breathing, essential oils, journaling, and of course, coloring. If you guys don't have an adult coloring book, you need to go get one. There's just something about coloring and those fine details. If you're feeling really anxious, just bust out that coloring book with your colored pencils or your markers, whatever you prefer, and just go into those details of that butterfly or whatever they have there. And it really does like shift your mindset. And that's the key, is like shifting your mindset away from the anxious thoughts and the anxious feelings and being able to naturally do that. So that is something I've been practicing for a long time, is replacing the anxious moment with things that relax me and calm me. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice for you to get used to that, for you to be able to feel that anxiety relief from some of these remedies that I'm sharing here with you today. But I promise you, if you make it a daily part of your life, it will help you in the long run. So yes, coloring, love it. It's great. Actually, there have been studies that show that coloring reduces anxiety, and it boosts the serotonin levels in the brain, and it also shuts off the fear center of the brain, which is the amygdala. That is the part of the brain that like sends fear and worry and like anxiety through our body. And coloring like shuts that part of our brain off. Whenever I think back to my childhood, like that was the most peaceful time in my life, is when I was coloring. So it all makes sense. So definitely get yourself an adult coloring book. Okay, so now that I've covered meditation, I want to talk about self-care. Self-care is a major part of my natural anxiety remedies. You have to have some sort of a self-care routine, whether it be in the morning, at night, in the afternoon, whatever works for you, and whatever it is that makes you feel like you are taking that time for yourself, to care for yourself, to treat yourself in a special manner so that you can feel relaxed and calm. So for me, it is my nighttime routine. Every night I run an Epsom salt bath. So again, I am using magnesium. That is what is in Epsom salt. And it not only reduces the tension in our muscles, but it has been proven in studies that it reduces the cortisol levels in our brain when we soak in the Epsom salt magnesium. So cortisol is another like stress hormone. And so high levels of cortisol will cause high levels of anxiety. And by soaking in an Epsom salt bath, you will reduce that anxiety. And I love it because I will add like a few drops of frankincense oil or lavender oil to the bath. And it just feels so good. And every mama deserves a bath at night. Trust me, it does wonders. I didn't always used to do that. I used to think like, I didn't have time to do that. But you know what? We make time for what we find to be important in life. And I'm starting to make myself important because, sorry, my dog started barking. So, yes, it's super important to make that time for yourself. Again, it looks different for everybody. Whatever it looks like for you when it comes to self care, do you. You do you, okay? But for me, it's definitely the nighttime routine. It's the Epsom salt baths with the essential oils. And I now make time for that. I make time for my coloring. I make time to go take my vitamins. I make time to make that cup of tea. And sometimes I'll bring a cup of tea up when I'm in the bath. And while I'm taking a bath, I will also listen to relaxation music or some sort of like anti-stress music. I actually find a lot of that over here on YouTube. So I will play that on my phone. I'll turn the lights off. I'll light a candle, drop a little bit of essential oils in an Epsom salt bath, and have a little warm cup of tea. And I just unwind at the end of the night. If you don't take that time for yourself, please start it. Start tonight. I want you to go get yourself some Epsom salt. Go take yourself an Epsom salt bath. You will see the difference. It just feels like the weight of the world is gone. All the stress of the day, everything is just lifted off you and you feel good. So just make sure the kids are in bed before you do it. So that's my tip as far as reducing your stress levels and anxiety levels in your day. And you are worth it. You deserve a bath at the end of the day. So go treat yourself. I promise you will love it. So I mentioned cortisol levels and how that's a stress hormone. So if you're having high stress in your day, another good like immediate relief for anxiety would be to massage your hands. So again, if you have like an essential oil, you can rub that on your hand and just give yourself a little hand massage like this. Or you can take like a pencil and a pen and just roll it between your hands, because it's proven that when you massage your hands, the outer part and the inner part, all the way through your fingers, that you are reducing the cortisol levels in your body, which is the stress level in your body. So that's a real quick, like immediate anti-anxiety for you if you're feeling really stressed. So another form of self-care would be to exercise. Now, I'm not a fan of exercising. I know that eventually I will get there in life, but right now I just run around enough, like after my toddler and motherhood, it's high stress. We're always moving. So I just really don't have that desire to take extra time out of my day to go like run or walk or work out. So the way I implement exercise, because exercise is good for the brain and the heart and the mind, and it helps reduce stress levels, and it's also a great way for anxiety relief, is to dance. Okay, we love dancing in this house. So I will put on the contemporary Christian music channel, which is like a Christian rock, and it's such good music, you guys. Like, I always loved mainstream music, but honestly, in this past year, I've really gotten away from mainstream radio, and I love listening to my contemporary Christian. I love the message in the songs. That's like what I'm all about now. It's not even always about like the rhythm and the beat, although they have it all. They have some good songs, and I'm actually going to list those for you right here. These are my favorite artists. Well, some of my favorite, because there's so many more when it comes to Christian rock. Definitely, you guys want to check out these artists and just go on YouTube, put them in YouTube, and all their videos will come up, all their songs will come up. These are my favorite songs by them. But yes, it is so powerful, the message. And then I feel like I'm leading by example with playing that music in my house, and my kids are hearing it, and we all dance together to it. And it really does like fill our hearts and minds with the Holy Spirit, and it makes us feel good at the end of it. And we're moving our bodies and we're dancing. So we're getting exercise, we're getting cardio, and we're also like putting the positive message in our brain. So definitely dancing with Christian music. Again, I'm not pushing any faith or anything. Maybe there's a different type of music you want to dance with. That's fine. Like I said, you do you. But if you haven't checked out Christian music or any one of these songs, give it a try. Very powerful, life-changing, I'm telling you. So yeah, that's something that I recommend. And again, I'm going to leave everything in the description below. So that is another form of self-care. I also do like to do yoga every now and again. Like if I get that calm time in the morning, if I can get up before my kids get up, I will do yoga by Adriene. She's another YouTuber here. I'm going to link her below. She has everything, every type of yoga you could think of, and she's so relaxing. I just love her personality. I feel like I'm chilling with a friend. So definitely check her out. She makes things really easy and basic. I'm not no like yoga expert or nothing, but she does have it for like stress and anxiety, headaches, backaches. She has all kinds of different yoga videos. So definitely check her out, and I will do that every once in a while for my anxiety relief. All right. Socializing, it's a big part of keeping your anxiety in check. I make a point to socialize. Now, by nature, I'm an introvert and I'm an empath and I'm a homebody. So I prefer to be home. And when I have to socialize, honestly, it's very exhausting and draining because I do like feed off of and feel other people's energies. Again, probably sounds hippie-ish, but look up empath, look up about that. Not sure if any of you are an empath. If you are, leave me a comment below. Hey. Empaths feel other people's energies. They feel their emotions, their vibe, I guess you can say. And so it can be very draining and exhausting when you're socializing or if you're in a crowd of people or you're around other people, especially if you're just not in the mood to even talk, you know? And sometimes I'm really chatty. Like I like to go to parties and socialize once in a while, but I have to be in the mood for it. So I got to be selective. And that is part of being an empath and an introvert. But I can be an extrovert to survive, put it that way. So with that being said, I now know though it is crucial for my mental health to have some sort of a social life. So yay for social media. That saved my life years ago. Like when I was down in the pits of my last postpartum depression and I was so depressed and I felt so lonely and I had nobody, like social media, Instagram saved my life. And then of course I discovered some YouTube moms over here that really inspired me and really got me to do my own YouTube channel. So yes, I'm so grateful for social media because of that. And honestly, I have met some really good people and I have developed some super close friendships through social media, which actually I wish some of these people lived nearby because I would be so involved with them in our daily lives. I would have our kids growing up with their kids. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword because you develop these friendships with people, but yet you're so far away. So you can't really live the life you would and have that true social interaction that you would. But social media is very helpful for stimulating the mind and keeping you socializing so you don't fall into that depressive, lonely state. And being able to just talk to somebody every day. So even if you pick up the phone and call a family member or have somebody you can call or even text, I guess, but I'm like old school. I think talking is always best. So try to call somebody and talk to them and just express how you're feeling and share something about your day with them. That is going to help stimulate that part of your mind to keep your social life active and to help keep the anxiety at bay. Just like the stomach needs food, the mind needs social interaction. So, we crave that as humans anyways. Like we need that to feed our soul and to truly have a healthy life. We need some sort of social interaction. So even if you are a total introvert and like antisocial, you need some sort of social life. Now, I've come a long way being a mom. Of course, I have to get out there in the world because my kids have to learn how to socialize. So I did end up joining some groups in a new church that I became a member of, and it has been life-changing. Like, I love these women that are in this group. It's just so amazing. Like all this time they were right there and I never knew it. So I highly encourage you, go get involved in your church. Maybe there's groups you can attend that are relatable to you. If you're a mom, they'll have groups with moms and kids. Like I get to bring my little ones and they play with their kids, and us moms just sit around and talk. It's amazing. I do that one day out of the week, and it's for actually a few hours, and it's all I need. It's amazing. And then of course we go to church on Sundays, and so we get to like talk and socialize after mass, and that's nice too. So I have that going for me, as well as my social media life. And then now and then I talk to family here and there, very seldom if I'm being honest, but I find a way to keep my social life going. So yeah, I highly encourage, join church groups, join your park district. You can become a coach for like youth athletics, or maybe you can, volunteer some time in your community for your township or something, but there's something out there for everyone. Definitely don't sit home alone. Don't be a loner. It's not good for your anxiety. It will definitely increase your anxiety over time. Nothing happens overnight. You'll start slipping through the cracks. You'll start feeling that, gloom and doom state, and you'll feel so lonely. We need other humans to interact with. It's just human nature, and I've accepted it. And so you have to do what works for you. So if you're not like totally social, like I said, find something a couple hours once a week, and that will do the trick for you. So yeah, socializing is definitely key to, keeping that anxiety at bay, and it's definitely an important natural remedy for anxiety management. So I really hope that by sharing with you these natural remedies for anxiety as well as panic attack relief, that you are able to implement them in your daily life to help you manage your anxiety as well as your panic attacks. Now, again, I'm not a licensed physician, so I am not here to diagnose, treat, or cure your anxiety and depression. Definitely seek that professional medical help if you feel that you need that. And again, what I share with you here, it may not work for you the way it works for me. Everybody is different, and I highly encourage you to check with your doctor before trying any of the supplements or anything that you need to take, because they could have an interaction with a medication that you're already on, or maybe they won't work for you. So for now, I'm going to say thank you for being here. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I don't typically do these types of videos. I am here to help you clean your house while living with anxiety and depression. So if you're looking for that clean and motivation and you live with anxiety and depression, then I'm your girl. And I'm actually starting 2 new series, so you can look for that. And we're going to get right into that messy to minimal, and we are going to start cleaning this house, deep cleaning it for all the holidays coming up. And also I'm going to start another series where we're going to get into some major decluttering. So definitely stay tuned for that, you guys. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. So I'm going to say stay mighty and God bless.